Everybody in the house tonight, come on now. Non-discreet, my style is chic. We all family, meet and greet. Stand up, don't recline your seats, cause I'm about to take you behind the beats.
Bruno Mars loves Elvis. Elvis is just raw talent. Talk about awesome. Talk about throwing it back.
Sorry, who? Bruno what?
I'm not falling for it. Everyone knows Bruno Mars.
Oh, Bruno Mars. The superstar people called Little Elvis when he was 5. I've seen the video. He helped the king of rock and roll live on.
Yeah, but that's the magic of Elvis. He wasn't born the king. Before that, he was a rockabilly singer. And before that, he was born poor, deep in the American South.
Elvis was born and raised in a 2-room house in Tupelo, Mississippi. Times are rough, and Dad struggles to keep the family fed.
Believe it or not, Elvis was a really shy kid who was spoiled by Mom. Rough as things were, she hooked him up with a guitar for his 11th birthday.
So many of these stories start with moms and grandmas giving kids guitars. It's so cool. Anyway, in 1948, the Presleys leave the country, hoping to find better luck in the big city, Memphis, Tennessee.
Elvis started early singing gospel music at church at the age of 2. But after that,
it was all country music. Every Saturday night, the family listens to the Grand Ole Opry radio show
from the capital of country music, Nashville, Tennessee.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue thinking about you.
The music, even as full of sadness as it is comforting. The Presleys hear their own stories sung by stars like Roy Acuff, Hank Snow, and extra especially
the Texas troubadour Ernest Tubb, whose hit version of Blue Christmas lodges itself right in the middle of young Elvis's head.
In Memphis, Elvis's dad finds work, and the family finds a home and a housing project.
Elvis's best friend is his guitar. He takes it everywhere, dreaming of becoming a country singer.
And he had plenty of sad material to sing about. He wasn't the most popular kid in school.
He's bullied for his haircut and flashy clothes. He's even booted off the football team for being so different.
Ugh, he's so weird. He looks like he just crawled out of a cave.
After high school, it looks like Elvis is going to be a truck driver, like his pops.
Unless that whole being super into country music thing takes off.
Sadly, it doesn't. He's not in Nashville where he'd need to be to make country work. That's how it was then. Different places had different sounds. What Memphis has is the blues.
In the 40s, the blues had transformed. Artists put a rhythm into it, heavy and fast. Blues you could dance to, called?
Not very creatively. Rhythm and blues.
R&B.
Exactly. The Presleys don't care for it. They think it's sinful. So Elvis had to listen on the hush-hush.
In the clubs on Beale Street, Elvis gets to experience the complete joy of R&B.
And there was no more joyous shouter than Wynonie Harris, whose crazy sets and wild tales about
real adult type stuff we're not allowed to talk about
led to his nickname, Mr. Blues.
There's good rockin' tonight. Gonna hold my baby tight as I can. Tonight she'll know I'm a mighty man. I heard the news. There's good rockin' tonight.
Elvis is fascinated by his energy and the combination of brass instruments and electric guitar.
Wynonie Harris is a direct inspiration for Elvis, who thought, heck, maybe he should give it a shot. He knows the spot, Sun Studio.
It's where R&B greats like B.B. King and Howlin' Wolf cut their records, but it also offered a service. Absolutely anyone could make a record, if they had $4.
At 18, Elvis goes for it. He wants to record a song. A birthday present for his mom, who bought him his guitar. It's also a chance for him to show his stuff to some, pros. When Marian Keisker, who works with producer Sam Phillips, asks him what kind of music he sings, who he sounds like, he says,
I sing all kinds. I don't sound like nobody. Marian believes in Elvis, but it takes a year of him coming back before she convinces Sam Phillips to give him a real chance.
And he's blowing it. He sings a country ballad by Ernest Tubb, but it's pure tumbleweeds, boring. He's got to try something else. He remembers Wynonie Harris and remembers his joy.
And man, it works. Shy, quiet Elvis goes wild on a cover of an old Arthur Crudup blues song. That's all right, Mama. What are you doing?
No idea.
Well, keep doing it. Sam Phillips, who had dreamed of finding a sound that could bring together white country music and black R&B, couldn't believe his ears.
With his help, Elvis became Elvis, the biggest star ever. Music, movies, the works. Elvis's version of That's All Right is a seismic moment in the history of pop music.
I'm leaving town, baby. I'm leaving town for sure. Well, then you won't be bothered with me hanging around your door, but that's all right. That's all right. That's all right, now, Mama. Anyway, do.
The new sound.
Is an accidental mix of country and R&B called Rockabilly. It's a big ingredient in the mix that'll soon be rock and roll.
With Sam Phillips' help, Elvis became the first rock star, the king of rock and roll, and went on to inspire generations of artists.
But while he had enormous success, many of the artists that inspired him, like Wynonie Harris, whose moves he imitated and whose songs he covered, didn't benefit in the same way.
Which is why we need to talk about them, to keep their names and their music alive. From Ernest Tubb to Mr. Blues to Elvis, all the way to
Bruno Mars. The king lives on, baby. Because if you look behind the beats, all music is related. Here's a cool link. Little Richard is the blueprint. He is rock and roll, part of my DNA. You know who said that? Janelle Monáe.
the android, the future. Janelle's like, the best. Do I need to calm down?
Nope.
Good, because it's not just her music, it's her ethic. A sci-fi R&B icon who marches for Black Lives Matter.
And embraces her queerness. Yeah, a boundary mover. Exactly like Little Richard. And Janelle's whole vibe, be yourself no matter what and maybe change the world, that's in Little Richard's DNA too.
I love it. Let's go.
Little Richard grew up in a big religious family, competing with his siblings for his mom's attention and his dad's affection.
He stands out, though.
Yeah, one of his legs is shorter than the other, so he's got a distinctive bouncy walk, and...
He thinks his head is too big, but it's cool, because he clearly owns it.
Exactly. Bullies thought he was fragile and called him little. That's where that comes from.
That's so rad. No better way to stand up for yourself than liking yourself.
When he starts singing in church, it's his talent that stands out. At 14, he'd been noticed by the biggest gospel star on earth, Sister
Rosetta Tharpe, a guitar prodigy and absolutely one of the coolest people to have ever lived.
Yeah, wild, right? And she got him to be her opening act.
Well done, kid.
Whoa, Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. You know the walls come tumbling down. Well, Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho, and the walls come tumbling down.
Sister Rosetta's the first to accompany gospel with an electric guitar. One of the first people to use distortion.
She's a legend, able to sing gospel in the church in the morning and blues at the Cotton Club in Harlem at night.
And she's queer, too. She's the godmother of rock and roll, and she influences everyone after. Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, and of course, Little Richard.
Who has found his calling. He's going to become a professional gospel singer. Except maybe not. In the segregated South, freedom of expression for a young black man is found in church or on the Chitlin Circuit.
Sorry, did you say the Chitlin Circuit?
Yes, it's the name of a series of black-owned nightclubs, dance halls, juke joints, and theaters that black artists considered safe to perform in during segregation. As artists play up and down the circuit, Little Richard never misses a performance by his idol, another guy who owns his nickname.
That's Domino, the living, breathing, piano-pounding embodiment of all the musical richness of Louisiana.
They call me the Batman, 'cause I went to and found all the girls that love me, 'cause I know my way around. I was standing on.
Fats blends jazz, blues, Caribbean rhythms, and Cajun melodies into a danceable style called New Orleans R&B.
His song Fat Man was a huge success in 1949, like 1 million copies sold.
His bouncy style on the piano and his huge, just sheer funness both leave their mark on Little Richard. I love him. He can make a piano talk. Hey, big head, get out and stay out.
As a teenager, Richard's father kicks him out. He doesn't approve of his son's queerness and cross-dressing.
Get out. I hate you and I don't want to hear your name ever again.
Jeez, tough luck for old Pops, because soon the whole world's going to be saying Little Richard's name. On his own at 17, he starts his showbiz career in earnest. It's not the Cotton Club, okay, but he gets a gig with a traveling salesman named Dr. Hudson,
who features Little Richard singing and performing in drag as they drive around the South selling herbal medicine.
which is wild,
But it did give him a chance to perform, to sing with different blues bands across the South.
and develop his look. The hair, the makeup. Little Richard finally looks like Little Richard.
Yep, turbans, jewel-studded capes, tiny mustache, and a big hairdo for a big head. But nothing really hits for Richard until he gets a chance to make a record with Fats Domino's band. But the recording session doesn't start so hot, so the group takes a break and goes to lunch at the Dewdrop Inn.
Away from the stress of the recording studio, Richard feels like himself again.
He decides to play a song he wrote washing dishes back in Macon, one with lyrics that were straight wild for 1955.
Womp bom loom bom 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 to the boot.
I know this one.
To the boot, oh rude. To the boot, oh rude. To the boot, oh rude. To the boot.
We gotta cut this record. This is it. The band knows a hit when they hear one, but Little Richard's worried his mom back in Macon might hear his crude lyrics.
What are they?
Well, he rhymes tutti frutti with booty, a lot. So the lyrics are rewritten in 15 minutes. And a booty-free Tutti Frutti is released in October 1955.
It's an instant hit. Little Richard combines the joyful wildness of Sister Rosetta Tharpe's gospel and the R&B piano partying of Fats Domino into something that changes the world.
By 22, he's laid the foundations of rock and roll. Boom! He inspires generations of rock musicians, and not just musically. His success as a flamboyant black performer helped encode boundary pushing into the DNA of rock.
That is rock and roll. That is rock and roll.
Exactly, which is why he's loved by legends like David Bowie and Prince and superstars like Lady Gaga, Lil Nas X, and
Janelle Monáe. Because if you look behind the beats, all music is related.
We are family. Yes, sir. Everybody in the house tonight, come on now. Non-discreet, my style is chic. We all family, meet and greet. Stand up, don't recline your seats, cause I'm about to take you behind the beats.